All right, everybody, welcome. Let's call this meeting to order. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education and the public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. Finneytown Local School District Policy 10165.1. All right, if you guys could just stand and join me for the pledge. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Who would like to read our mission statement? I can read it. It's fine. Our mission is to foster academic and social growth for each student in a safe, supportive school environment. Our vision is to be a learning community that inspires our students and staff to think critically, grow intellectually, and live with integrity. Item number 3. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion. I'll second.
Okay. Additions to and approval to the agenda. Does anybody have any questions or concerns?
I did want to mention that I had a couple revisions that I passed out to the agenda, so if you look at those sheets when referring to those agenda items, please.
All right. All of those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving on to item number 4, approval of the minutes from the regular meeting of June 19, 2024. Can I have a motion?
I'll second.
All right. Any discrepancies with item 4? All right. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Moving on to the administrative report. Can you walk us through this stuff today?
Actually, I think Grant is going to help with the facilities update.
Okay.
So, hopefully that's working. Let's see. Those of you online, I'm sorry if it's all over the place. So the biggest thing with facilities that we have going on right now, demolition of Whitaker is underway. It's not truly demolition yet. We have the construction fence up. Mound demolition is who's doing the work. So right now they got the fence up, which they got up before they even told us when they were going to do it. So from me to the community, I apologize that happened. That was not supposed to happen. They just did not communicate. So all of a sudden I drove by and I'm like, the fence is halfway up. So the township and I had kind about a month ago, so they were aware that this was coming. So there was just that transition of, oh, we have a fence up now. So kind of got through that at the beginning of this month. They are currently working on setting up different stations within the building for abatement. We have just a little bit of asbestos left in that building. Most of it was abated back in 97, 98. So there's just a little bit underneath some of the floors in the main teaching wing. Once we get done with that, we hope that the actual demolition work will begin, and the intent is for that to be done. I think in October is when the whole site should be back to grass. And so that is the final product of the demolition work, is a grass field, and everything comes down into the center drain that has always been there since the renovation, into that pool right there, and then it is poised to do whatever we want with. And so we'll figure that out as we move forward. And then other things really are kind of quiet at the moment. We're just kind of getting prepared for all of our work on secondary campus. There's still utility work that's planned, just waiting on timing with all the utility companies. And the big thing there is next upcoming date for everybody is the end of August is our groundbreaking ceremony. And so that's a Friday night. We did move up the start time to 5:30. So that is a 5:30 start time for the groundbreaking ceremony. And more information will come out about that, but we were concerned about Friday night football game. You have pre-game festivities. We have alumni there. It just was so much time. We just didn't feel comfortable starting at 6 o'clock. So it's now 5:30. We hope that that is a short ceremony, give everybody plenty of time to get their shovel full of dirt on secondary campus and have a great time with that. Alumni is planning all sorts of fun weekend events, so there'll be all sorts of things, not only at the game, but outside of the game that'll be announced. Some has already been announced by the Alumni Association, but more is coming. So that's kind of our big update, and yeah, questions for you guys. Are you guys okay if I take her question?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a couple questions after that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Well, when you said everything will be level, okay, from where our property is.
Not level. It all will. It'll
I
sit.
mean, because if it goes, it's going to go
No, so
like that
it,
and then.
yeah, so there are a lot of different groups that have come in as part of the design of the project. So everything, all of the work, there'll be a lot of pushing around of dirt, making sure that all of the water continues to flow off-site. And so it's not going to flow
Not-
back to
not
your
our
property.
property.
It'll flow back north how it has been. So,
Okay.
so there's extensive designs to the way that the property has to land at the end of the project.
Because there's a big dip
Yeah.
going to the school,
Correct, yeah, yeah, and it'll still go into that center.
the catch
collection,
basin.
yeah, retention basin, yeah.
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 Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely,
Thank
yeah, yeah. That's very applicable, being right next to it, so, yeah.
What will remain as far as any of the asphalt? Will all that be gone? All
There will be
driveways,
no
everywhere?
asphalt left.
The grass.
And that is per design, because whatever we do with that property and whoever, like if we end up working with a developer, it becomes homes, they want dirt. They do not want our blacktop left, because that's money that they have to spend to remove it and to prep that. And so it is taking it back. Now, what we are keeping is that catch basin or retention pond up front, and we're keeping the light. So the light, we do not intend to remove everything there, and that is for timing purposes for any possible development that goes in there, because it's, you spend, $20,000 taking out the light, and then they turn around and have to spend $20,000
Got it.
coming back.
So there'll be a light going into a green field for.
I don't know if the
Something like that.
county will end up going ahead and making it a left or right turn only.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But like coming out the Timber Trail, they will definitely, people will still need left and right turns.
Yeah, so they might take down those two traffic lights that are right there. The two that are.
Not to speak for the county, but if there's plans for development, they'll probably leave it there for a while. They'll do some, the county engineers will do the counts and everything else after a while and see if they need to
Yeah.
take away the turn or not.
Interesting.
But ideally, we'll have something before we retire.
Yeah, I mean, we still intend to move forward with some type of project. I think there's been a lot of work behind the scenes with the township has, talking with neighbors and making sure that it's something, whatever ends up going there is palatable to the community, because we don't want people leaving that project with that taste in their mouth. At the same point, we, district, definitely feel a responsibility to make sure that we figure out a way to monetize that property. There is an opportunity basically to create a revenue stream from that property. We do not want to just give away property or just get a one-time chunk of money, whereas if we are wise about it, that could end up helping to continue to fund our school district in perpetuity. And so if it goes nonprofit, that creates a whole other issue for us, because there's no tax money, there's more taxes going out, tax money going out from services from the township. So we just need to be wise about what ends up with the property. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to work with the township, work with our community, make sure that wherever we land, it makes sense for the community, for the township, and for the school district. So that's kind of the hope there. And then other than that, we're just quietly still working behind the scenes on, putting a bow. We did get through, you'll vote on the amendment for the design development and for the new project tonight, and then move it into construction documents and try and put a bow on that stuff. So big push,
Getting there.
big
yeah.
push. So
I want to one
Yeah.
or two other things. I've seen some comments on Facebook, and I have a couple people approach me. People just wanted to make sure that bricks were being saved. I know we had that discussion. Was something like that going to happen?
Yeah, there's yes and no. So there will be a few, but like saving bricks out of the building is honestly, it's a hot mess because it's all bricks that are going to be broken. Some will have mortars and stuff around it. To the best of my ability, I will be trying to save some. I can't tell you exactly how many, but it will definitely, it's on my list. We've already harvested all of the major artifacts of the building in terms of the plaques and things like that. There are a couple signs that are still up. They will take down for us as part of the demolition project, so we'll be able to retain those. But yeah, at this point, I know some of those bricks are original to like probably the 20s or 30s. We'll do our best to keep some of them, but when you're doing a demo, it gets pretty messy.
I understand. I just knew I had people that were asking. So.
Yeah, I've had people ask me for all sorts of things. They're like, well, can I get the floor? I'm like, no, that has asbestos in it. Not going there. It's a whole other
liability.
Yeah. So, cool.
All
right,
right.
great.
Thank you, Grant. Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 6, public address. I have a few things I'm going to read before we get started. The board believes it is in the best interest and the best interest of the students of the district to hear comments from members of the public. It has been, therefore, a long-standing practice of the board to encourage and allow residents to speak at the public meeting. This may be done by completing the bottom portion of this form and giving it to the board president prior to the board meeting. The following guidelines ensure that anyone interested in addressing the board may do so at the board and that the board conducts the business of the school district in the effective and efficient manner. Number 1, attendees must register their intent to participate in the public participation portion of the meeting upon their arrival at the meeting by completing this form and returning it to the board president or presiding officer. Each speaker is limited to 5 minutes. Number 3, for the public record, each speaker addressing the board must state their name, address, and their group affiliation if and when appropriate. Any materials or handouts must be presented to the treasurer for a record. The naming of individuals, profanity, abusive languages, and speeches that invade individual privacies will not be tolerated or permitted. The board will take no action regarding matters or issues presented through public address in the meeting in which the public address was made. All necessary follow-ups will be made verbally and in writing at a later date. So we did, I think, have one board address. And you can come on up. Here.
Zach, will you come over to this microphone here? I'll put it out here for
Welcome. You can state your name and address for us.
Yeah, Zach Leiber, 6952 Brady Court, Middletown, Ohio, 45044.
All right. Thank you.
Right then. Thanks, man.
Can everybody hear me?
Yep. It's good.
Again, my name is Coach Zach Leiber, for you guys that don't know me. I feel like I need to come up here and speak because some situations that have occurred and that I've witnessed, I feel like some things need to change within. I'm speaking directly about our basketball program, but really in athletics and all. I've been coaching here for 5 years, and I've just tried to. And it's all about the kids. Everything's about the kids. Our future is about the kids. Just some issues that I've had. Number one is I feel like the gym time that I've been given, I feel like it's always a problem when I'm in the gym. I feel like when we're in the gym, it's an issue. I feel like that we're not supposed to be in there. And again, I'm dealing with our kids. I'm not dealing with outside kids. There might be a few here or there, but the majority that I deal with are kids right here. And I just feel like that sometimes I get in the way of trying to better our kids. My goal has always been to better our kids. And I've had conversations with people, and I just don't feel like my responses are being taken seriously. I think, I kind of feel like, I'm not from here, but in the 5 years I've been here, I've never been in a place where just the community here is tight. But I feel like the support's not. The support here is not tight. I won't spend a lot of time. I start to ramble, but one of the biggest problems I have is paying for our gyms. I feel like it's our kids. I'm not making money off this. I could, but I'm not. I'm actually losing money. But it's not about that. It's about bettering our kids, and our kids need this. I'm not going to go into kids' names, but some of the kids I've seen from when I started with them 5th grade to now, they wouldn't be where they're at. They wouldn't have the opportunities that they have. And some of the kids, they're going to be, come when they're seniors, they're going to sign a letter of intent. I can see it. But they wouldn't know where to be at if it wasn't for people like me trying to make a difference. And I just feel like it's not, I'm not saying you only got to listen to me, but I just feel like we don't get the support. We don't get the support. And, I just would like to see things change. I know they all can't change overnight, but I would like to see things change. Trainers that I brought in to train our kids, professionals, guys that the kids wouldn't have access to if it wasn't for someone trying to help them. Our kids. And I just feel like that it's being presented as a negative by some people here. And I would just like to see things change. As far as our basketball program, its current state right now, we're trying to, we've taken steps forward. Like I got 30, 40, 50 kids in the gym every night. I don't know when that's ever happened. I mean, I'm trying to push it forward, but I need help and support from the administration here. I need help. And I feel like we're not getting that help. And it's not just about me, it's about the kids. It's any coach that comes here, not me. Any coach. They need more help from the administration here. And, so that's really all I got. I just hope that in the future things change. It's not about me. I could be here, I could not be here. But it's about the kids, like especially those 7th graders that I've been with. I mean, I'm around them more than I'm around my family. I'm in the gym more than I'm around my family. And they are my family. So I'm going to always be a voice for them. People may not like it, but I just feel like things have to change. We talk about be the change, right? Hashtag be the change. I see it all over the place. I just don't feel like change is happening. I don't feel like change is happening, and I just wish it would happen. I just wish it would happen because these kids deserve it. We got some special kids here. And I told myself I wasn't going to cry up here, but we got some special kids here that deserve for the world to see them. And the world's starting to see them. We go to tournaments, the world's starting to see them. They know who they are. They didn't know who they were, but now they do. And I just wish that people here, the administration, different people would actually support everything these coaches are trying to do. I'm not just talking about myself. Football, volleyball, I go to everything. No, it's okay. I go to everything. I support everything, okay? I'm at all kinds of sporting events, all kinds of events, and I would just like to see the change actually happen. Be the change, you talk about it. I want to see it happen. It's not about me. I may not be here. It's about them. It's about them. And it's about the 4th graders we got in the gym right now. Thank you.
All right, moving on to item number 7, review of action steps from last month. Number 1, finalize the board retreat agenda items to be held on July 27th through 28th. Lindsay, myself, and Laurie met, and we were able to finalize those items for the agenda. Item number 2, coordinate the food for the board retreat. That's been taken care of. Number 3, forward any final agenda items. That's been done as well. Number 4, request Neola provide a summary of Board of Education policy modifications. Do you know if that's taken place yet, Jen?
Yeah, Laurie said it has. Yep.
I had an hour-long conversation with Neola
Okay.
about not being in red and green.
Oh, yes,
So,
okay, good.
Helpful for me as well.
Great.
Did it work? Did they say they changed it?
They're doing their best. It's with their provider, but he's going to do some workarounds to get it into different colors.
Okay.
Good.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay, number 5, superintendent and treasurer evaluation submissions. Those have already been submitted, and we will be reviewing those at our board retreat. next week. Moving on to item number 8, board coordination matters. Who would like to start?
Okay. I basically have talked about the alumni. They are, as Mr. Anderson was talking about, they are planning a big giant weekend around the 30th, which is a Friday, and they're doing something on Saturday. So on that Friday, they'll have building tours of the old building. So you can tour that, and for hopefully maybe for the last time, tour the old high school, the 100 to the 300 buildings. The groundbreaking ceremony will be at 5:30 now. And there's also going to be, they will also honor the 1974 soccer state champions. So we'll honor those alumni there. The next day, there's going to be a golf scramble, as well as a legacy ceremony in the PAC at 5 p.m. And then afterwards, we'll hop over to High Grain and have a little more social time with our alumni as well. If you could, jump on finneytownalumni.org. All the details and all more information is sitting right there. So that's all I got today.
Okay. Thank you, Seth.
I can go next if that's okay. So I was out of town during the most recent township trustees meeting, but I did have the chance to watch the live stream. So there was one of our township residents, her name is Patricia Dorward. She attended the meeting and they played a video. It was pretty moving. She just had her 100th birthday and she's lived in the township for 70 years. She's one of the founding members of St. Bartholomew Catholic Church, and she received a certificate from the township just acknowledging her contributions to the community. There will be a new fire levy on the ballot this November, so look out for that in November when you're voting. It has been 5 years since the last one was passed in 2020. The funding does last through this year, but because of inflation and needing to keep up with pay for our fire department employees, that will be on the ballot again. Chris Gilbert, our township administrator, did emphasize that they try to get 5 years at least out of each of these levies, but we got 5 years out of this one, and sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less. This time we got 5. As far as water during the Whitaker stuff, Chris Gilbert shared at the meeting that there is still access to Water Nature Preserve without going on school district property. The township owns an access drive that's on the south side of the Whitaker property. It's a gravel driveway that goes right off of Whitaker and right along the Howers property. But there is parking there, and they'll have some sort of temporary gravel place to park. But that is still open for people to park. I had a couple questions about that from people in that neighborhood and other people in the community. Chris did mention the Whitaker property. We need to have further discussions about that. He's directing all questions to the school board, and he did share that at the trustees meeting. This is not he said that it's not the township's decision at this point, and that all questions are going to, I assume, to Dr. Banks. On July 18th, which I believe is this Thursday, there is a concert at the Grove from 6 to 9 p.m. The band is Key West. And then on August 9th, there is a back-to-school bash at Clifford George Park. It is a movie night, the movie Trolls, and there will also be various authors, kids authors there at that, and backpack giveaways for back-to-school celebration. The township also passed at the July 9th meeting a resolution on a moratorium on group homes. I guess the township has been having some issues with some group homes. There was a discussion about that during the meeting, how to regulate those, and I guess it's not a problem that only our township is having. I know of a couple of group homes that are in Finneytown. I don't really know much about them, but I guess they don't know how to regulate those, and perhaps it's causing more requests for services from the township. So they put a moratorium on issuing zoning certificates for those group homes until the end of the year while they work on further regulation and zoning regulation for that. So not sure if that means much to anybody who's listening unless you're affiliated with one of those, but I guess there is a temporary pause, but maybe not permanent. And I think that is all I have.
Do you have anything, Jamie?
I was out of town, so I did not.
Okay. I had a few updates. Secondary PTA, they're looking for a separate secretary, so if you know anybody who's interested, it's very pivotal to have a secretary to be able to record minutes. Dave can vouch for that. Beyond differences, there's a homecoming tailgate coming up on September 27th. I will have more details as they come to me. FMPA, the next meeting is on August the 12th at 7 o'clock, and they have various positions as well. A membership chair as well as fundraiser position chair. So if you're interested in that, reach out to April Bruder. And I think that's all I had at the moment. Okay. All right. Moving on to item number 9, financial matters. Could you walk us through this, Dave?
Need a motion.
I'll move.
All right.
And I'll second.
Okay, the first item is the monthly financial report. And this does represent the end of fiscal year 23-24. So this is the final wrap-up. We had total revenue in the general fund of $21,644,807. Total expenditures, $21,374,906. Cash balance in the general fund at the end of the month, $13,718,365. So we had a pretty good year, mostly favorable on a lot of line items, and we were able to transfer some money to our capital projects fund as approved by the board last month, and they approved up to $2 million. We were able to fund that entire amount and still increase the cash balance at the end of the year going into next year. So, thank you very much for allowing us to do that. I think that would be a great help to the project.
Moving that fund, or moving those funds don't count as an expense for this chart.
It does show up as an expense, but it's not an operating expense.
Okay, and this is all
It's a
operating
non-operating
expenses in this chart, so it wouldn't be in this. Okay.
Yeah, so it is included.
And most of those operating expense increase, is that mostly due to inflation, or are some of those things just things that are only incurred in certain years? Or-
Yeah, inflation is something that did drive our spending this year, yes.
Okay.
Definitely. Any other questions?
We could expect next year's expenses to be similar or greater?
Well, we're working on that, so I'll have more information, but I do have some increases in the 5-year forecast at approximately 5%. I hope that we can do better than that, but that's where we're projecting those at this point in time.
Okay.
Okay, next item, the item B, depository investment balances as of June 30th, 2024. Our U.S. Bank account, we had $410,130. U.S. Bank Construction Fund, $2,853,057. Star Ohio main account, $23,164,866. Star Ohio Construction number 2, $3,290,274. Star Ohio Construction number 1, $2,018,616. And our Star Ohio for state funds, $996,686. Item C, interest in depository investment for June. General fund, $105,604.52. Construction fund, interest income, $23,686.89. Item D is the monthly bond project spending commitment report. So this report does look a little different than it's done in the past. I keep improving it. And so one of the things that we have coming up for us is construction documents, putting our secondary campus project out to bid, and then looking at where those come in, to the extent that we come in over budget, we'll have to set aside some LFI money for things that we want to keep and include. So this project budget really is laid out to help aid with that, which is coming up. And you can see at this point in time that we do have approximately 61, and I'm looking at the very bottom summary, about $61 million available to us for both phases of the project, the elementary and secondary campus. We've expended $24.8 million this far. We have cash of $36 million on hand. We have encumbrances on our secondary project right now, $4.9 million. I did lower that. I was showing the full amount of the Skanska project up until last month, and then I was talking to OFCC about that, and they said really it wasn't necessary to encumber the entire amount until we actually accept the GMP. So I wanted to finish our year with that at a more reasonable amount. But after we get the GMP, it will go back up.
What, GNP, what's that?
That's the, let's see, that stands for the Guaranteed maximum price. Thank you very much, Grant. Yeah, so that's what we're looking forward to, where that'll come in at. But we're still early in the project, and things are going well for now. Okay, next item is E. It's a recommendation to transfer $2,000 from the general fund to our band uniform replacement fund. And so this is a traditional expenditure each year, so that we'll have some money together when these fairly new uniforms wear out. Item F is a recommendation to approve petty cash accounts, standard item we do every year. Item G is a recommendation to approve 2 purchases as listed. Item H is one of the items that I've passed out, a revised document. There were small adjustments made, but the amount of these appropriations for all funds for last year, final adjustments, total $386,770. Item I is a recommendation to approve a total amount from all sources available for expenditure and balances for next year. That is also another document that I passed out. There's a slight revision of that. And so essentially what this does is it shows the total amount of money that we have available for appropriation for next year, and that is summarized on that document. Top half of the document on the first page, total funds, we've got about $63.9 million available for us, and quite a bit of that is going into the construction project.
Any questions, comments, anybody?
I got a stupid question. Really stupid question. Again, the petty cash? The high school, junior high don't need petty cash?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that with the fan.
The petty cash fund, treasurer's office, the elementary, extended care, the high school doesn't need?
You got some by the secondary campus, isn't it, petty cash?
Or they don't have one?
Which in the past, it's always because we were on their campus, so they could just walk right to.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I guess.
But now they're not, so that's a good question.
Yeah, that's right. She's got a good response there. You can go with that.
Do you think you'll come back to us with one for them since
No,
you guys
are going to flip it.
Are you thinking of the elementaries and
That's
the
what-
elementary now?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
That's what we've already done anyways.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, it's
That's
$600
makes
compared to
sense.
what we do.
Yeah,
But I was just kind of surprised.
All right, can we have a roll call?
Ms. McMullen?
Yes?
Mr. Ray?
Yep.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
All right.
Mr. Paul, I'm sorry.
I said yes.
Do I get everything? Mr.
No, you forgot me.
Mr. Cloud?
Yeah, yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to the superintendent's recommendations. Can you walk us through this? Do I need a roll call for this?
I think you just need a motion,
A
but I'm not
motion,
sure if
yes.
there's a motion.
Yes.
So
All
moved.
right.
And I'll second.
Perfect.
Okay. So item A, we had 2 teachers resign. So we want to thank them for their time and their commitment to our students, and we certainly wish them well in their future endeavors. Items B through D are all approval of new contracts for this upcoming year. Item E is asking for approval. We have 2 second grade teachers who've been tutoring some of our students over the summer in June. And then item F is approval for various work we have certified staff doing over the summer. Since the contract is over, we pay them the $19.87 an hour. So I think this is all kindergarten camp and our hiring team. All been very busy this summer. But we're excited to say that as of right now, all hiring has been completed. So that feels good. Item G is acknowledging, as you know, we have the universal free lunch and breakfast. So these would be the costs if a student wanted extra lunch or breakfast. And then item J, a little further on, talks more about the universal free lunch and breakfast. Item H are the most updated Neola policies, which I think, according to Laura, you're already familiar with and you've seen. Item I is what Grant mentioned earlier. It's asking you to approve the design development stage submissions for the secondary project. Item J is the one about our universal free breakfast and lunch for this upcoming school year for students, and it goes through the 27-28 school year. Items K through M are approval of our contract with HCESC, the Hamilton County Educational Service Center. They run our preschool program, so all 3 of those have to do with our preschool program. And then items N and O are standard items we do each year in support of our support organizations, and then also their general liability insurance each year. And that,
I have a couple small
Yeah.
questions.
Sure.
For the in building substitute intervention specialists, we don't usually have building substitutes that are just one position, do we?
Yeah, we do.
But
Yeah.
I've never seen it before.
We've had it with a couple of roles. Sometimes it depends on certification.
Okay.
Sometimes it depends on numbers shifting in various roles. So
Got it. Okay, I just wasn't sure. So,
Yeah.
so we still have that position unfilled, but if this particular person were to get certified, there could be a decision to have them hired for that position outside a substitute position.
no, I'll be honest. I don't want to speak to this one as
Yeah,
far. I'm
that's
not
okay.
sure
That might be a
why it's a
question for Dr.
sub.
Banks.
Right? Why sub versus.
Okay.
But this is different. We have building subs in each building
Yeah.
too each year, and
Okay.
so this is different from that. Yes,
Okay.
she will specifically be an intervention
Okay.
specialist.
Because we still don't have that. I know we've had issues in the past with intervention specialists.
Yes,
positions.
we have had challenges filling those positions, but as of right now, both campuses have them filled. So
Okay.
that feels good.
It's
Yeah,
so good to hear.
Diana, I got 2 questions. I don't know if
sure.
Do you know if we had the opportunity to do an exit interview for the 2 teachers we lost in June?
Laurie has been doing
That's a good
exit
question.
surveys with them. Yes.
That's what I wanted to know too.
Okay, and then Chris Moore, the Finntown Alumni Network was a supporter?
It still says Finntown Educational Foundation. I'm not sure what the legal name is now. Has it been changed illegally?
I think it's
No, it has not officially been changed.
Oh, it has not been officially changed.
Not yet.
Okay, thank you.
Any more
I
questions?
think I have one other question. The updated policies, was that sent out or was it not, the updated? I know this is not our final reading, but
My understanding was that it was sent out.
if someone has that, you could
Maybe I'm
forward it to
wrong.
me. The updated, the revised policies.
I could have it wrong. You haven't seen them?
How did you see it? You said you had a conversation with Neola, Jamie. Did they forward the revised ones to you?
No, we
or-
were just coming up with a plan on how
Okay.
they were going to.
So nothing was forwarded or anything?
No, I did not see any examples of it.
Okay.
I just was typing it up as we were talking.
Okay.
So
I
no
have
one's
not
seen them
the
so far, I
policy.
guess.
Okay.
I think Latour was going to work on it, so.
That's fine, just as long as we see them before next month.
Yeah, I will follow up on that.
Okay, any more questions? We have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Ray?
Yep.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. McCollum?
Yes.
Mr. Cloud?
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Moving on to item number 11, review of action steps. Do we have any?
Just one we just said, I think.
I was going to say, yeah, I wrote
Just
down
that
and I
one?
will follow up about the policies mentioned in H.
Okay, and as a reminder, we have our board retreat next week. Yeah. It's next week already. Yeah.
Depends on when you consider the weeks turning.
Not this Saturday, but next.
Yeah. So I did have a question. It says on here that we're going to start our second day at 2 o'clock. I don't know if that's the time we agreed on. That sounded a little late.
Do we typically announce special meetings? I guess because we already have it scheduled. We just- that was a
Yeah.
courtesy.
Plan them.
We plan to do that this way. This is the first time we actually plan a special meeting this way.
Yeah, so,
So,
yeah.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
You're saying
Okay.
those times are correct?
I didn't think the 2 o'clock time was what I had written down, but I can go over it with Lindsay and Lauren. Okay? So item number 12, announcements. The next special meetings will take place on Saturday, July 27, 2024, 9 a.m., and Sunday, July 29, 2024, at 2 o'clock p.m., and it will be held here in the Brent Board Office, 8791 Brent Drive, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45231. The regular board meeting will take place on Monday, August 19, 24, at 6:30 p.m., right here as well. Anybody have any last questions or statements or anything? Or? Okay. We are adjourned.
I need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So moved.
Yes, I did that. Yes, I'll second. We are adjourned. Thanks for your grace. I've never done this before.
You did a great job.
Great.